Let's see this work. Show me the money. Aha. Watch Jeopardy. Let's just say that it's like watch. Like I need to work on my typing. I'm just hitting random keys now. Try again. Fine. Good job. Hello and welcome back. Sorry for the delay. If you've been keeping up with the lesson plan so far, I was recording with QuickTime for the screen capture and then editing it in the iMovie, but for some reason the screen capture would record and it wouldn't let me save. So I have since did some research and swept over to OBS Studios, which is a very powerful recording software designed around streaming, but also does great for screen recording and is free, open source software. I love open source software. So if you need something like this, definitely check it out. Moving on. So I am going on vacation before school starts for the next week, and I'm going to give y'all something outside of our lesson plan. So some of the things I show you might be a little more advanced if you've been keeping up so far, but it's something you can either learn on the spot if you want to do this with me, or a glimpse into what you will learn when we get to it later in Java. Today, I am going to create a program that I personally need. So I bought a mechanical keyboard. It's a mechanical split keyboard, so it's technically two halves of the keyboard, and they're linear keys, so my finger just goes straight up and straight down. It's called an Aradox, and I love it so far, but I need to learn how to type on it a little bit better. So I want to create a program that allows me to type out a sentence, hit enter, and it wipes it off, and then I can type a sentence, wipes it off, type a sentence, wipes it off, as opposed to opening a document, typing the sentence, hitting enter, going to the new line, and then just having all these sentences stack up one on top of the other. So today we're going to create a program I'm calling Typer. Now if you don't know how to get a program started, check out the previous videos. It starts from like hello world and move your way up. But as always with any program, we begin with comments. So in the comment section, I want to say what the file name is. I want to say, I'll steal this one. Yeah, there it goes. So I want to say who the author is, what the date is, and the about, what the program is about. Aesthetics. Alright, so this file is called typer.java. And you'll see up here Typer Text. That's the name of the project, Typer Text. But when I created a class, going in here source and created a class, I called it Typer. So this program is typer.java. Yours truly, your name goes here. Today's date, it is the 14th, yes, August 14th, 2019. Told you school's about to start. And then about, it's a GUI to practice typing. Alright, we have our class. First thing we want to do is get our main in, so that's a static. You might see some mess ups. Like I said, I need to practice on this keyboard. A static void public. We need our accessor. Public static void main with a string array we will call args, short for arguments. Open that bad boy up, and while I'm here, I'm gonna put my little signature on. I do this because the only people that can actually see this are people who see the source code, see the algorithm itself. So you see it, I see it, and when I write programs, I do this on every program. It's a little signature of mine. Anyone who comes in after me to edit or do anything with the program will see that. It's just, hey, thanks for looking. All right, now I want a GUI. So let's start with the GUI. No, wait. I want a GUI, but I want to type a sentence into the GUI, and then when I hit enter, I want it to pop up a new window and just keep popping up new windows until I say to quit, which means I need a loop. More specifically, I want to do a do while loop. So do something while something is true. This is the do while loop, which means do something without any condition, without asking permission, without anything. Just do it the first time, and then find out if you should keep doing it or not. So right now it says true, which means it's always going to do it no matter what. But eventually we will put a variable in here so that we can say false and have it stop the loop. So do something. What do I want to do? I want it to show a GUI. In order to show a GUI, we have to first import the library. So let's import from javex dot. I'm surprised it didn't pop up right away. Javex dot swing, and I'm going to import everything from this library. An asterisk, a star, an asterisk, that's a wildcard. It means everything. Right now it's grayed out like the comments because I'm not using it, so let's use it. J option pane dot. Now it's going to be an input so I can type in there, so we'll do a show input dialog. Parent component will be null. Parent component is where it's going to pop up on the window. You hit null, it's just going to pop up in the middle. Most programs, null, just have it pop up in the middle. We want a sentence here. Ooh. Sentence here, which we don't have yet. So it wants a sentence of what I should type, we'll put there. And then the title of it, we'll just say type. It'll be like an instruction. Whoa. Type. Lastly, what kind of picture will be on a box? So a box will pop up, a GUI, a graphic user interface. A box will pop up, and a box inside of it that I can type into. But there will be a graphic. What kind of graphic? We'll do an information. So let's do J option pane dot information. Yes, first option, perfect. That's a GUI. All right, let's get a sentence in here. So we will make a variable. We don't have that yet. We'll come back to it. Let's test this first. I test, and you will see it today. You don't usually see it in the videos, but this is purely uncut. I test often creating a program because I want to see what it does and if it breaks, and if it breaks, fix it right then and there. Essentially, when you get, you don't need that. When you get the program, you want to do everything a user might do so that you can see where it breaks before they break it. This is a GUI, graphic user interface. My header says type, gives me instruction. That sentence is blank because I just made a blank string. So it will read a sentence here for me to type. There are certain sentences that use every letter of the alphabet. For instance, the one that's in my head is, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. That sentence uses every letter of the alphabet. So I want to type that sentence out so that I'm using every key, and then hit OK, and it loops back. Type it again, hit OK, it loops back, and it just keeps looping back to get my practice in. That's not the only sentence, though. There are numerous, I don't know how many actually, but there's at least a handful of sentences that use every letter. And so I want to rotate in between those to get my practice in, so I'm not just typing the exact same sentence over and over. Right now, I hit OK and it loops. So that do while loop is perfect. However, I hit cancel and it's also looping. I try to exit out, it's also looping. Now I can't get the program to stop. What do I do? If that ever happens, just hit the red box up here. That's a kill switch. So, this is looking good. Now I need a sentence in there. So, I know I need multiple sentences, not just one. Let's create, let's see, we have variables here. Variables. Let's create a string array. Just like we did up here, this is a string array of arguments. We will do another string array. So let's do string array, which we will call sentences, and we will equal that to a new string array. And it doesn't like it. You see a little squiggly line? Doesn't like it because it needs to know how big the array is. Now I have a list here of sentences. I wrote down preparation. Boy Scout is always prepared. Alright, I was never a Boy Scout, but I do like to be prepared. So there are 8 sentences that we are going to use today. So create an array called sentences with 8 different sentences in there. Now here we will make our sentences. So we will say sentences blank, that would be the position, the first one, will equal a sentence. And that is a boilerplate. I have a Mac, so I'm going to hit Command D, and that's going to duplicate. And I need to do this 8 or 7 more times, but 8 times total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. Now, important thing we haven't gotten to in the videos yet about arrays. They don't begin at 1, they begin at 0. So my first sentence will be at 0 in the array. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and last but not least, 8th sentence in 7. Now what are the sentences? Well, the one I know, quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And I'm gonna put a period there. Get my practice in with punctuations. Alright, some of these don't make a lot of sense, but it's still good practice. Thinks of black quartz, judge my vow. Okay. Next. You know, I could, you know, pack my lunch box with 5 dozen liquor jugs, but no, we'll just do box. All right, this one's odd. Instead of the quick brown fox, this is the quick onyx goblin who jumps over the lazy dwarf. Whatever floats your boat. Period on that one, just like the dog one. How razorback jumping frogs. Those sound scary. Can level 6. What is that? I would like to see that actually. I would see that. Let's get an exclamation in there. Almost there. Let's see. This one is Cozy Lummox. I don't even know what Lummox is. But whatever it is, it gives smart squid who asks for job pin. That that's not a good one. Oh. Watch. Alright, this will be a good lesson also we haven't gotten to in our lesson plan. That's an exclamation. Jeopardy is the name of the show. And then we say Alex Trebek Fun TV quiz game. I'll come back to that one. And last but not least, the 5, this is one of my favorites. The 5 boxing wizards jump quickly. Just the imagery. Alright, so with Jeopardy, I want to put the word Jeopardy, the title of it, in quotation marks. The issue is, we use quotation marks in the code to signify the beginning and end of the string. So if I say quotation mark here, it thinks the string is only right here. And if I put another one here where I want it, then it thinks this is a string and that is a string, and whatever's in between is just broken code. To get rid of this issue, we use what is called escape, which is a forward slash, backward slash, a backward slash. Yes, forward slash. No, that's a backwards. Pretty sure that's backwards. Anyway, you use that, it turns orange just like back here. And you know, once all the words in a string are the same color again, code works. Escape. It's not the only escape, so if I wanted to, in the middle of the string, make a new line, I can do escape in, and this says, hey, type this out, then on a new line, type the rest of it. Or I can do escape T for tab, so write this, make a tab, a big space, and then write the rest. We don't want to do that. Just so you know. Now, I have sentences, and I need to put these sentences in here. If I put sentences of 0 for that first one, it will always type this first one in no matter what. It won't use any of these others. We need to change that. So I want to create a string, which I will call sentence. And I will give it nothing to begin with. But down here, no, actually, in the do, I want to put, I want sentence to get sentences, sentences, and so you see it's not broken. I put a 0 in there, and then this first one will go in a sentence in here. So now, when I run it, we will see the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, because that's at position 0, and I'm putting position 0 into the variable sentence and using the sentence here. So let's Command S on a Mac for save and run. Quick brown fox jumps over a lazy dog. I could type anything in here right now, and it'll just keep restarting. Actually, I don't even have to type anything, and it'll just keep restarting. And we'll fix all this later. But we see it's working, and the program's working. Nothing's crashing and burning. That's actually getting annoying. We'll fix that in a minute. Alright, I want to shuffle through this and then fix that always true issue. So let's create a random. Let's go up here. To get a random number, you have to import some math. It's in Java. It's a util for utility, and it's random. Yeah, that first one. Perfect. I usually do the asterisk, just get the entire library, but only thing I want from utility is random. Might as well specifically or explicitly say random. Cool. Moving on. Let's put it in the do. That way it picks a new random number every time. And we will do a variable int. Int means integer, so a number. We are picking a number, so we want a variable to have the data type number, and we will assign it a random. Ooh, we can't do that yet. Just kidding. Backtrack, hold that thought. We need to instantiate. So, capital random. This random we just downloaded here, and we are using here. See it light up. Random is going to, what do we want to name it? I always name my randoms rand, unless I need more than one, but for beginning, rand is my random. That gets a new random constructor. Cool. Now we have a rand we can play with. So let's go back down here and say our int called pick will get a rand dot next int. Very nice. Now, what is the boundary? The boundary is going to be 8. It's going to be 8 because there's 8 of these, and it starts at 0. So 8. Bound 8. I love this part of IntelliJ. Boom. So the bound is 8. Now, in here, we could put pick, and it's going to pick a random number, put that random number in sentence, and whatever that number matches, it'll put that sentence into sentence, put that sentence into the GUI, and I will type whatever that sentence is into the GUI, and then it will loop. That's it. We need to fix the loop. It will loop because this is always true, so we need to change that. Let's create a new variable. It's a boolean. Booleans are true or false statements, and we'll call it looped, and we will say true. So automatically it will always loop in the beginning. Looped. Now it's going to flag it because it's always true. It's like, why use a variable if it's going to always be true? But we'll make it false later on. So right now, nothing's changed except for, oh yeah, we can test this. Nothing's changed except for the number pattern. So let's save it and see if we get multiple sentences. It's still going to loop no matter what we do. But I like testing. So there's a different sentence already. We're doing good. Sometimes you get the same ones back to back. It's random. Any random number, you're going to get some back to back. Looks good. Alright. Close that bad boy. Drop this down too also. Now, let's see. Let's get a way to end it. Let's make that cancel button work. To make the cancel button work, we need to change the GUI. So right now, this GUI we've seen. It uses the sentence that it grabs from up here and shows it on display. tells me to type in the header. I type whatever that sentence is. It needs a variable to put whatever I type into. So we will make a string, which I'll just call str, short for string. And so whatever I type in that box will then go into str. With that, we can manipulate it. So let's do an if statement. If something happens, do something. If str equals null. So anytime you hit the red X or the cancel, it pushes the word null into str, essentially. So if it's null, then we will make looped false. Oh, I'm assigning right now. So right here, one quotation or one equal sign is assigning. I'm assigning whatever the sentence is into sentence. I'm assigning whatever I type into str. I don't want to assign null into str. That's not going to help me any. So what I need to do is add a second one. That's comparison. 2 back to back is saying, is this equal to that? Is this the same as that? As opposed to assign this to that. Moving on. So the looped is false. Now if I hit the cancel button, then it's going to end the loop. It's going to make this false. That becomes false and it ends. Let's see that work. That looks good. That still works. Beautiful. And cancel. Very good. Alright. Now we have somewhat of a program running. Let's do some more playing around here. So if it's the same sentence, so if I type it out correctly, I want a message saying, hey, you did a good job. If it's not, I want another message saying, hey, try again. We could do that in an if-else statement. So we're in the if now. If it's null, do that. Else, if something something, do something something. If the sentence that I'm supposed to type is the same as str. str is what I actually type, sentence is what I'm supposed to type. If they match, then do something. It's flagging right now because that's not the best way to do it. I just did it this way because we went over the lesson here, so you understand what we're about to do. But what it prefers to do is use a method. So dot notation, and we say equals. Oh, look at that. First thing that pops up, equals str. And this will come back with a true or false, a boolean. So if this is true, if sentence equals str, if this is true, because if statements want true or false. If this is true, then do something. Else, if it's not true, I want a space there. If it's not true, do something. Which actually we don't need to say if it's not true. We can just say else as a catch-all. So if it's true, do something. Else, it must not be true. Then say something else. And to say I want to do a J option pane, I want another GUI giving me that message. So J option pane dot, and it's a message, so I want to do a show, not shoe, show message dialog. Again, parent component, no, I want it in the middle of the screen, and we need a variable here. I'm gonna call it words. So that part is done. Message, this is my message to the world. That part's done. So we need a new variable. Let's jump up here and say, all right, so I have one here. So string, we call words. Word or words? Words, S. Words equals nothing right now. Code's not broken though. So here we can simply say words equals and whatever message I want. Like, good job. Or my catch all, words will equal try again, sucker. All right, let's see that work. So I'm gonna save, come up here and run. Run, run, run. All right, so if the Sphinx of black quartz, judge my vow, then what happens? So that looks accurate to me, so I should get a good job. Aha! And then starts over. And if I type something clearly wrong, try again, and it starts over. Beautiful. And if I hit cancel, try again. Oh. Alright, so this is a catch-all. It didn't get a message. We didn't tell it to say anything here. So it's just going to get the catch-all and exit out. Because we changed this to false, but it still has to run the code. So it goes down and then chooses something. It has to say something here before it hits the false here and exits. So we will give it a message. Let's say the words equal I'll say practice often. Practice often. There. That should fix it. Come on. Cancel, practice often, and quits. Beautiful. Alright. We have good job. Try again. As you've seen, I hit the cancel. It changes this to false. It drops out of the while loop, and then it ends. Nice and clean. However, you could say system.exit and give it a code 0. You could say this. This is something that you could say anywhere in the code. So we could say this up in the cancel, so it doesn't get to the message. It doesn't get to any of the other code. It fires and just exits with a 0 code, meaning it was a clean exit. You could use this anywhere in the code. You can have multiple parts that the code exits on. And you can use different status numbers like 1, 2, and 3 so that when it ends and it says it exited at 0, you'll know, okay, that's where it ended the program at. Or if it ends on code 3, you'll know that's where the code ended at. So let's go in here and let's hit, and you see exit code 0. That's not from this. That's from up here. You could say that. We don't need to. We could also, if the sentence is empty. So right now we have it where you can type in the same and it says good job. You can type in something wrong and it says try again. But you can also just hit OK, and then what happens? Let's put that here. We'll say else if it's blank, do something. So if the str is empty, then and we could just have a message. We could say words gets a message saying you must type something. Could do that, but for lessons I'm gonna show you how to play with GUI a little bit more. So let's instead say a J option pane dot confirm dialog. Show confirm. So that's a yes or no. It's going to propose something and you give it an answer, yes or no. You're confirming something. What does it want? First is null, parent component, and then the message. Would you like to quit? And then the title, and we'll make this the title, which means we can get rid of it. Boom. You must type something, and then it says, would you like to quit? And you say yes or no, so we need those options. J option pane dot yes no option. It gives us our options. And then we'll do an if statement. If a condition happens, do something. What's the condition? If, we need to call it something. We can't play with it unless we name it. So they get yes or no. If they click yes or no, whatever they click, it needs to go into something. Yes is a number, no is a number, so we need an int, and we will call it quit. So if quit is the same as the yes option, so J option pane yes. If it's the yes option, then do something. Else if quit, that's quiet, quit is the same as the no option. J option pane no option. Then do something. So would you like to quit? And they say yes. Then we make the loop. Looped equals false. That ends it. But we're going to have that issue with this again. So let's put a word in there. Words equal something. What do we want to say? Practice often. Sounds good. Practice often. And then end the loop. But if it's blank and they try to pass it through, we will say you must type something. Would you like to quit? And they say no. Then we need a message to print out. Practice makes perfect. It would help if I had quotation marks. Just put one over here and get rid of the last one. There. That looks pretty good. Let's see if it works. We know it works, so we'll say junk Try again. Now if it's blank, okay, you must type something. Would you like to quit? No. Practice makes perfect. Goes again. Practice often. Whoa. Oh, I just hit cancel. Yeah, duh. Sorry about that. Let's run again. It's getting ahead of myself. So, okay for the blank. Would you like to quit? No. Practice makes perfect. Okay for the blank. Would you like to quit? Yes. Practice often, and it quits. Now this is getting a little complicated. It doesn't all fit on my screen. What I like to do, I first learned this in C# Visual Studios, but IntelliJ has brought it about. So it's called region. And after region, you name it whatever you want the region to be. This region is variables, but I always call my variables building blocks. I don't know why. I just did one day and it stuck with me. Anytime you do a region, like this isn't going to work by itself. You have to end it. All one word lowercase in region. When you do that, these little buddies pop up. And it allows you to shrink it down just like the bigger ones. Bigger ones will shrink like that. But when you do a region, it just shrinks to whatever you called that region. For instance, this is sentences. I like sentences. So, I'll do region. I'll leave that as sentence. Or sentences, technically. And region. And now, I can collapse it and it just says sentences. So I know, up here are my building blocks. I need to add a new variable, come up to my building blocks, chop it in, close it down. My sentences are here. And I can just see them. Meanwhile, things like this, I don't have to do it for. So this is an else if this happens. We can just shrink that. If this happens, we can shrink that. So if it's a yes option, something happens, and you just hover over it, it'll show you. Else, if it's a no option, that happens. If sentences are equal, that happens. Else, or catch-all, this is a catch-all or default. Else, that happens. Up here, if the string is null, that happens. And this is a big else if. This is a big if statement, even though all these are in it. So I can shrink that down. If the string is null, this is happening. Else, if the string is empty, all of this is happening. See, it unpacks it for you in the visual, even though when I open it up, it's still packed. When I'm viewing it, it unpacks everything for me. I love that. Else, if the sentence is equal, it's there. Else, catch-all. And now, my entire program fits in this window. Nice and neat. So that is our program. Do something while looped. That's nice. There we go. QuickBound Fox. I need to work on the typing. Try again. It just keeps doing it. We try everything out. So we know that if it's blank, we get an option. Comes back. If we hit cancel, it closes. If we hit the red box, it also cancels. Practice often and it's out. I don't think a user could do anything else, so there's nothing else we need to really prepare for. So we're done. Thanks for looking. Check out the other videos. I got plenty more. We're just getting started, really. So I got plenty more lessons coming up to go from the hello world to the most advanced Java programming. This is just a little caveat, a little something I want to give y'all for not getting the videos out when I need to. And like I said, I'm going on vacation for the next week, starting tomorrow, so I'm not going to get one in this weekend. This is a little something to hold you over. This is Java. We also have C# up, and we have a lot more coming. I'm starting off with these two because this is what I started with in programming. But you'll learn Python, that's going to come up. C will show up. Some assembly language, HTML, CSS. Pretty much any language I know, I'm going to teach you on this channel. So if you are interested or you're following along so far with the lesson plan, go ahead and follow the page, get notified when the new stuff does drop, and each one teach one. Thanks for watching.